Welcome to the first edition of RC Underground Radio. We told you it was coming, and here it is. We're in the middle of January, but we promised January, so we are delivering. I've got Ryan Ratzlaff with me today. We'll be co-hosting most of these deals. We'll have some great guests along the way, but today it's just going to be Ryan and I talking about all kinds of topics. We'll be talking RC racing, of course, but we'll talk life. Who knows what else we'll talk about. So let's get it started. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You know, we've been prepping for this, I feel like, for a few weeks now, and just kind of talking about, okay, what are we going to discuss? What are we going to do? And you know, I thought about it this morning in the shower, and that's usually where I do all
that's
of it.
That's kind of creepy.
It is perhaps a little bit creepy, but that's where I think a lot. I don't know why.
The visual is, it's very disturbing.
It's disturbing for me, Dave. But you know, I think something that needs to be brought up is really, you know, how this all started, right? Like, you know, for me, I mean, I played with RC cars as a kid, right? And you know, it's so much fun, and you know, they're going 2 miles an hour, and you're kind of walking behind them. But then to get into this, which is like a whole different world, and all of that. So, you know, I think that's a good spot to start, right? Is like, how did this all begin? Right. You know, and I can tell you my story, but I don't, you know.
Well, let's mix them together.
Yeah.
I'll tell a little of mine. Yeah. I'll tell a little of yours. So people, I get people on the internet. I saw Matt Murph Dog Murphy.
Yep.
And literally he was like, "What is that? Is it like a warehouse? Did you build a pole barn?" I said, "Dude, it's in my basement." And he said, "You're kidding me. It doesn't look like a basement." I said, I mean, and he said, "What do you live in, like a 7,500 square foot house?"
No.
I said, "No, not at all. 1,500 on a good day." And I said, "But the basement's the same size, and we've pretty much used every square inch of it."
No doubt.
And that's what makes it kind of cool, because there used to be this restaurant in Chicago called the Red Bud. It might still even be there. And they had like 14 tables, and one was actually in the kitchen. And that was the table. Like, people wanted, they wanted
to be in the kitchen.
Yeah. It took like a year to get, because it was hard to get.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I imagine your food wouldn't get cold.
Right. Because it's right there. Yeah. And you could go, "Hey, that's my food. Could you like just hand me my food?" But outside, it only had another like 12 or 13 tables. Right.
Yeah.
And it was the hottest ticket in town, because you could only have 14 people sitting there for that hour, and so on and so forth. And it's kind of the same deal here. I mean, that's not what the plan was, but it's just what it is. You know, I mean, maybe now that we put additional tables in the back, and then we could come forward tables in it, maybe 20.
Yeah.
You know, and that'd be tight, probably well past fire code. but you know, that's about all we can do. So I get these guys reaching out, and I try to make them understand, you know, you can't show up. Well, first of all, you can't show up. And some people, nobody's really had a problem with it. But if anybody was thinking like, "Well, why don't you give me the address?"
Right.
Well, it's my house, and I'm not going to just give away my address. And I can't, honestly, the real reason, I can't just have people show up, because 5 guys come in from another town. You know, how do we adjust on the fly? So we have to just kind of crowd control. And that's the only reason why. So if you reach out and you want to come and run the underground, man, we would love to hear from you. I'm dying to have people come from other towns and other states. And we've got some guys that I've been talking to from Michigan and other. One guy wrote me and he said, "Oh, that's only 10 hours away." I'm like, "Well, then bring it. You know, 10 hours is nothing to you.
Right.
We're ready for you." So it's not that people aren't welcome here. Everybody's welcome here that runs these cars. So I'm kind of getting a little off track, but the way the whole thing started was I was going to build a slot car track here. Mm-hmm. I started pricing that out, and that's not a cheap endeavor.
No, it's not a cheap date.
No, not at all. So am I about equal? Yeah, probably about equal. But I got a lot more. I mean, we got this whole pit area and all the electrical they had to go into it, and I've got a lot more for my money. And the main thing, we don't have any slots.
Right.
Right. We get guys out on the track. It's open game.
Yeah, it's on, man.
Yeah, it's really on. And I mean, you included, but how about the caliber of drivers we're getting?
Oh
here?
yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. And we just kind of talking a little bit about the history of it, right? So like again, I wasn't really into RC per se, but then when you showed me these little 1/18th scale RC cars, and I started looking at the complexity of them, and I really was like, wow, you can make adjustments. It's just like an asphalt late model or an actual dirt late model. And so that just intrigued me. And I think you showed me some pictures, and I think you actually got a car first, and I started playing with it, and I'm like, I got to have one. And to know me is to know that I've got a bit of an addictive personality. So I went, yeah.
See, how long have we worked together? And I didn't know this.
Yeah, it's so true. And so then I think I was up to like 6 cars at once. But it's just been a lot of fun. But I think for me, and I think you kind of had an idea all along, right? But for me, it was just really the fellowship, the friendships that you make. We got Jake at Bolter at work who jumped into these things with us, and getting to know him outside of work, and just having that RC bond was so cool. I think you and I always had a pretty good bond even outside of this, but this has certainly drawn us closer. And so just running around on some carpet at work, 3-4 of us at a crack, and then you getting this harebrained idea to like build a track in your basement, right? So, So when you started going and sending videos of you like running around on your concrete and stuff, I'm like, that's cool, man. But it's not carpet, like where's the traction at? And then you got this foam surface, and you started building it and sending me pictures and videos and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, it's time. So, Jake and I came down that one weekend, and man, did we run some laps.
We did.
And
we thought we were fast then.
Yeah.
But boy, were we wrong.
No. Yeah, we were out to lunch actually. But, it's that. And then you kind of taking it to that next level, and starting this whole RC underground. That really, for me, it's such a cool hobby, right? Because not only do you get to play with these things and get super nerdy, you get the competitiveness out of it, but then you also get the friendships, right? And I think that's what I cherish most about it. It is a hobby. It's not a sport, right? Like I don't make any money doing this, and I've never looked at it that way. It's a money pit, just like any hobby, but. Right. When you break it down, you can get into this hobby for $300 and be ultra competitive. And so just that, the friendships, and then the friendly competition that comes with it is so cool. And, it's like any one of these guys, whether it be Nick or Tom, Jake, Mark, Todd, it's just having fun racing with all those guys and just the different personalities. I think that's been the best part of all this, right?
Oh, 100%. And it just continues to amaze me because, again, it's my house, and I've got these people I've never met before, just maybe a little on the internet, and I just kind of put my faith that whoever comes down those steps is going to be cool, and every single one of them have been.
That's the one thing about the RC community, and it could be one RC cars, it could be nitro, it doesn't matter, basher. Everybody kind of like gets along, right? Like, oh, you do that too? Okay. We're basically best friends now. Yeah.
And we're going to talk more about this later, but last week I got to go to Tulsa, and I stopped in at the RC Chili Bowl.
So cool.
And it's this times 600, and everybody was cool. Now, of course, you're going to have your situations. I wasn't there every day. Somebody might have gotten lit up on something, but for what I saw, it was great sportsmanship, and I see why that race has been going on forever, and it is the oval race. And like I said, I've been around this stuff since 1978. I've seen a lot of like Lake Whippoorwill and stuff that they ran in Daytona and all over the kind of place, but that show's got it going on. And I don't want to take too much now because we'll do a whole segment on that, but you hit it on the head. It's like the RC community is tight because we all have that bond of we just want to race cars.
Yeah.
You said, nobody's making money. We're not making money here. We don't charge anything for anybody to race. We don't race for money. That'll be another thing that we'll do a little segment on. Yeah. I think that's important to touch on, but Yeah, it's just the fellowship. I have the most fun walking around taking pictures. Like as soon as you guys are like racing on the track, that's cool to take pictures of.
Yeah.
Because like we say, some places would maybe have a swear jar. We need to have like the sorry jar.
Sorry jar.
Every time you say, "Oh, I'm sorry,"
Yeah.
throw a buck in. I mean, somebody would walk away with a lot of money
Yeah,
that
it's crazy.
way.
Now, you take a lot of these photos. Do you have any of me like crashing or anything? Because that happens from time to time.
I don't. It happens so seldom.
Yeah, right. You got to get quicker with that camera. You taking pictures or me crashing? I think, and that's the cool thing too about this is like we can't forget about your wife and her allowing you to be nerdy, right? And spending your time. I mean, you got to think about where this place came from to where it is now, and this massive pit area you've got, and just the lighting and everything, and the fact that she allows you to do this on the weekends. I'm appreciative of her.
Yeah.
She's always a great host, and that's really cool. So
yeah.
I want to give shout out to your wife for being so awesome.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, I could go on and on about her. She's I got it right.
Yeah,
I got
no
it
doubt,
right.
no doubt. And I did too, because mine allows me to be this nerd too, and doesn't question, when a package comes from 1RC, basically weekly. So,
well, it was the same with Nick too. I mean, it was so cool. He wheeled in this really cool parts toolbox thing, and his wife bought him that for Christmas. So to see that the spouses are supporting this. I mean, hey, we could be in bar somewhere, right?
Yeah, no doubt,
drinking away, and here we are just racing RC cars and having fun. So it's cool that they get it. But they are just ultra supportive of it.
And for those of you that don't know, if you haven't been here yet, there's a bar very close. So
that's just down the street.
Yeah. So
we may have to do some live remotes.
I'm good with that.
That could happen. That could happen. So. All right, what you pick a topic. I'm doing a lot of talking. You pick a topic of something that we should scat into.
Well, I tell you, I love innovation. I love finding creative ways to make the car faster, right? And I think for me, that's the fun of this hobby and these cars, especially, is just looking at different ways to make them go faster. So it's, different springs, changing up, trailing arm angles, so on and so forth. Like, that is so cool about this. And that's what I love. I wouldn't dare use the C word, cause that's not true.
You might want to clarify that.
Okay. Cheating. I don't cheat. Okay. I innovate, right?
I was a little scared with that.
I'll use
C word.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. But Darryl Waltrip, I think he said in Dale Jr.'s podcast, he goes, what did he say? He goes, we're rule makers, not rule breakers, right? So I like to make some rules. And for me, that's fun. Now, and see, for me, I don't have much talent when it comes to driving these cars. I mean, I try.
Yeah, you only won the Kenman.
Okay, well, that was like sheer luck, I think.
You don't. There was 12 guys here, very good racers, and only 5 went to the feature, and only 1 guy won it out of that. I don't think that's luck.
Yeah, well, that was a cool day. But so for me, it's like just finding different techniques, caster adjustments, right, things of that nature, to really fine tune the cars. And that's the one. I think one of the most unique things about 1RC is that they have put together a car that when you make adjustments to it, minor adjustments, they make big changes, right? So like having that is super cool. And I don't know, I'm just all about it. I mean, we run these late models here pretty much once every month. They just came out with the new Asphalt Modified, which is just, it's a rocket ship. I took mine out on track today, and yeah, it was close with the setup I put in it, but they are fast. I really was hoping to open that thing up, but just couldn't get a chance to do it today. But
we're getting her going, though.
Yeah.
Definitely going.
It was getting there, but and that's the other cool thing about the underground is the TrackMate scoring system, right? Like, I know you personally invested a lot of money in that, and we have all the transponders. that really helps with the competition, right? Making sure you have accurate timing, knowing where you're at in the race. And then also, when you're in the pits, I mean, you've got the TV screens up. I mean, shoot, it's like a sports bar down here. I mean, there's TVs everywhere. There's internet. There's all this stuff going on. So you can really kind of keep track and keep pace with everything. And I enjoy that aspect of it too, right? Because it's the data, it's making sure you're consistent, right? You want to be able to look at that and being able to turn your head, right? It's cool to have that. So, but yeah, innovation. I love that word. It's just innovation.
Well, that's what's cool for me, because I mean, I love running the cars, but I mean, it's no secret. I love the promoting. I love
that's your bag.
The marking and all that kind of stuff. It's fun. My wife would always tease me, everything's got to be a party, like we got to have birthday parties. We got to have this party. Oh, so-and-so, Kyle's coming into town. Oh, let's have a party, This is the party I get to have, right?
Well, it's your wheelhouse, man. I mean, like you, if you follow us on Facebook, Dave is constantly posting. I mean, there's always something going on, cool pictures or some type of content he's posting up there, amping guys up for a practice even. And that's your wheelhouse, man. And even this.
Yeah. 100%.
When you told me about it, I was like, man, Dave just doing his thing,
Yeah, right. But you talk about the TVs and stuff. It's like, I want to host. It's like, let's just make this something really cool, where people want to come here and want to race. And I think we've pulled it off.
There's no doubt about it. And I think you probably picked up, the Kenman was something that was really, that was a tribute to your dad, and I think you are definitely, I never met your father, but I can tell you're probably a spitting image of him, and just hearing some of the stories, from Nick and George and those guys, that's what makes it fun. That's how I know you're this is like authentic you. You know what I mean? Like there is no smoke and mirrors. Like the stuff your dad used to do, you and him and that stuff in the early years, like we're just adding technology to it. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing.
Right. Yeah. The legacy continues, right?
Yeah.
It's like, No, and Nick Ciccone, you'll hear it in a segment that him and I did. My dad would have just ate this alive.
Yeah.
He would have loved it. He would have loved it. Yeah. Yeah. So it's all in his honor. Every time I do something, I'm like, oh, he'd get a kick out of this. Oh, TV screen so the drivers can see where they're driving. He'd be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. How'd you do that?
Yeah.
So it'd be super fun. So, okay, let's get your side of the Midwestern next week. You know a little bit about
Midwestern,
you know a little bit about what the segments, like how it's going to run. It's very different than anything we've done.
For sure.
Not that it's like super longer. I mean, it's still going to be a fast race. It's going to be quick, but let's, you don't have to give away any secrets, but, if you want to, go ahead.
Strategy plays into everything. I think that's true in really all aspects of life. So, thinking about being 10 steps ahead and trying to figure it all out. Right. But, for me, these batteries, the Turnigies that we run, those 300 milliamp hours, I mean, I can squeak some out of them. And I'm a bottom feeder at the track, so I'm not full throttle all the time. So I'm going to try and use that to my advantage. We'll say that. I mean, obviously I do need to come off track at one point, and flip the battery tray open, but, I may.
So you may just gave a little foreshadowing.
I did. That's fine.
All right.
I've got a strong bumper on this car, so
you're not thinking any full battery change.
No,
that's what it sounds like.
No. I want to try and get it done without having to do that. But we'll see, right? I mean, that's with races like that, right? We have so many talented drivers here. You just don't know. You can think in your head, okay, this is the way I foresee this going, but then you start getting after it, and you're like, oh, I need a battery. I need some awesome sauce. I need new tires.
Yeah.
Like I got it. So I will have everything ready. I will tell you that. But my game plan is just one battery, and I'm going to just send it.
That's awesome. So hey, if there's any 1RC drivers out there with late models, it's not too late. We will have some room here. It is next Saturday, the 28th. Doors are going to open at 9. Racing should be going by noon latest. Probably actually take that back. We will be qualifying. Practice will end at 11:15. We will be qualifying at 11:30, and then as soon as that is done, and we just, we don't have to get in a whole lot of detail on this one, but we do things pretty different here.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll give you a couple of highlights. We pick out of the bucket. You get your number. That's your qualifying number. Kind of like street outlaws, right? You're picking and people walk up, but you pick your heat race. The computer doesn't figure it out, and people go, well, why am I with this guy or that? Why am I in this heat, or why is that guy in that heat? You pick. So, and that's if you're the first qualifier, that's kind of that's not a good could look at it. Oh man, I got to go first in qualifying, but then you get to be the first to pick the heat race. So if you say, hey, I want to be heat race 4 and I want to start on the pole, all right, you're next guy up. You pick it, right? Yeah. And it's very interesting, some of the mixes that we get. And now what I'm going to find interesting is guys that have raced a few times, they're starting to get to know each other.
Yeah, for sure.
And who do they want to race,
right?
Who do they want to race with? And, how does it fall in line?
I'm just going to stay far away from Mark. That's my goal.
We're talking about Mark Sweeney. Yeah. He's our track record holder. Yeah. The guy's amazing. He's as amazing off the track as he is on. He's a fun guy. His dad was the official starter for the Indianapolis 500. I don't know how many times, but I know a lot, like years and years and years. And we're going to get Mark on here for an addition. Yeah, just an amazing background, just racing, not even just motorsports in general, not even just RC cars. We'll give you a couple highlights. Number one, he's raced around the world. Mm-hmm. He was ranked 16th in the world. Crazy.
He's
deep into this sport. One thing I got educated today was like, we're watching the scoring, TrackMate scoring, right? And like you said, and everybody's looking who turned the best time,
about that.
And then you brought it up, and we started looking at it. It's really your median.
Yeah,
it's important.
It's just be consistent, right? Like you don't always have to turn the fastest lap. Just be consistent.
And that's his deal.
That. Yeah, he is.
That's
he is
his
Mr.
deal.
Consistency for sure.
Just a crazy median score.
Yeah.
Far surpassing a lot of cars there.
Yeah.
But we still got some great guys.
Oh, yeah.
We're not here today.
And I got to tell you, when we talk about that qualifying, right, and pick your heat spots, I think that to me is the coolest thing, because you just never know. It's okay, do I want to be with that guy or do I want to be with this guy? And it's a very nerve-wracking time to do that, but that's the fun in it. Because I think one thing for me is running with, I'll call our ringers here, is they make me better. Like today I was running with Mark, and I'm like, buddy, just give me some more laps, you and me, let's go. And sure enough, I was cracking off, 2/10 quicker lap times. Like, so it's you want to be with those fast guys so they can make you faster, right? And that's the big thing. So that's a unique component that we've got going on here at the Underground, is really setting up those heats. I mean, amongst all of the other things, right? But that to me is one of the coolest and one of the most stressful times. It's not even the racing. It's picking out where am I going to go in this heat? What do I? Oh, I'll go here. Oh man, I got to race that guy. You know what I mean? Like, right. So,
yeah. And like you said, we've got a lot of guys, Tom Vassy and some other guys that weren't even here this week. Ironically, Mark Sweeney will not be here.
Thank goodness. I mean, did I say that?
Yeah.
No, I just want a chance.
He's going on a trip. We're not going to say when he's leaving for the trip, because, we don't want people to know his schedule. But, it's that's really mixed the pot up. People that feel that they can come away with this. So
for sure,
that's going to be amazing. So what else do we want to scat about?
I will tell you too. This whole 1RC community, if you're into this or you're thinking about getting into it, check out some of the Facebook pages. I mean, the amount of social media that surrounds these cars and this hobby that we all have is super cool. And through some of that stuff, right, and you, not me, really promoting this whole thing. I mean, we've been able to come up with some pretty cool sponsors, right? Like, so, Wabam, my buddy Ryan DeStefano, Met him years ago, just an absolute stand-up guy. Started this company doing hand wipes, like degreaser wipes and stuff. And he called the company Wabam. And so he's got a million different products now. Started another company called Supply Zone. I mean, the guy's just amazing, and their customer service is awesome too. And so, like, you know, having those come on, we've got our buddy Steve. Steve from Scuff Racing makes a product called Awesome Sauce. And if it wasn't for him, like, this track would not be what it is today. Like, because of that tire prep that we utilize and tire cleaner that he's developed, you know, like, that has given us the traction that we need, because for a while there it was a little dicey for sure. So, well,
I can give it just a quick story on that. Is that the first practice, I'm all excited, got all these guys coming over, right? And yeah, it was sketchy to say the least. It was like everybody was on ice. Steve had reached out to me a couple weeks before, and he's like, hey, you know, could I come out and demo this stuff? And I was like, I don't know what it is, and I don't know what it's going to do. What's it going to do to the track? What's it, you know, if everybody started using it and then they go, this doesn't work, then I got like 8 guys with tires that are no good. So I said, let's just scale it back a little bit. I'll tell you what, can you just send me a bottle and then I'll pay you for it? And he's like, no, I'll send you a bottle. So he sent me one. I bought one. And then I waited and I waited and I waited. Yeah. And then I realized in my bag, I had one set of brand new tires in a bag. I pulled it out of my drawer. I'm like, so I went to Jake Bolter and I said, Jakey, here's the deal. Will you try this stuff? And if it doesn't work, I got a fresh set of tires.
Yeah.
You know, so I just thought, isolate the situation.
Smart.
Well, then the rest is history, right? Jakey goes out and what? How much faster
he
was he?
Hustling on that. Yeah, that car you couldn't keep up with it. I mean,
it was night and
all
day,
the way through the corner.
Literally night and day. And every driver that we said, hey, okay, now it seemed to work on that. I don't know if you got hards on. I don't know if you got softs, but if you want to try it, it's sitting right here. Well, one after the next, and it was like instantly became, this is what you got to do.
And the thing of it is like there's other great tire cleaners, you know, traction compounds out there. But for me, you know, I didn't know Steve from anyone at that time. And, you know, you had told me about it. I used a little bit of your bottle and I fell in love, you know, and for me, I jumped on his website. I ordered it. It was the easiest transaction I think I've ever placed online.
And one bottle, $12.
$12 and shipped to your house. Like, and it was
free,
like, for free. And it was there in like 2 days. I'm like, I love this guy. You know, I ordered 2 bottles right away, and then you meet him, right?
Absolutely.
And you realize how good of a human being he is.
Yeah.
He's always trying to help. Like, hey, Ryan, what would, if I could, you know, 3D print or make something for these cars, you know, like, you know, tow gauge or whatever, would you like to see that? And so that's the part of Steve, and what he also does for like promoting other tracks.
Mm-hmm. He travels to these tracks.
Yeah. I mean, he's at trackside all the time working with those guys. Like,
he's got a Facebook page that's Wisconsin race, you know, radio control race. I'll get the actual and we'll put it up on the screen. But I mean, he's into it, you know, and I get a kick out of that because I like the promotion side, right?
For sure.
But just a good dude.
Yeah. So for me, like, there's no other traction compounds out there. I won't even purchase any of them. I'm Awesome Sauce all the way. So
100%. It's made a difference. And I told him, I said, you already saved me a ton of money, because after as the practice was going on before we tried the sauce, I was like, you know what? The Kenman's a week away. I'm going out and buying carpet. I'm just going to go buy carpet. I can't have all these people come and they've spent money, and guys that bought cars that didn't even have cars to do this. I'm like, it has to be fun.
Yeah.
And so, but 2 hours later,
it was lights out.
The world changed.
Yes, it did.
It did a 180, and now it's just so fun. The track has really taken to it. It's fun to go online and other guys that are talking about doing foam, and then we tell them about it.
Yeah.
And then Steve reaches out, hey, appreciate it, guys. You told this track about Awesome Sauce, and now I'm selling to them.
Right.
And it's not about finding Steve sales. It's about these tracks that are running foam are going through the same thing. Or I shouldn't just say foam, but carpet and concrete and drag racing and you name it. this stuff works.
Yeah, I know Tommy V's a big drag racer. He's actually going to be giving that a shot on his drag car. So that's cool.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And the cool thing is too, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say this, you know, with these great sponsors, and I'm haven't even named all of them, but they donate so much. You know, they appreciate what we're doing. You know, a lot of times we'll buy stuff, fall in love with it, reach out to them. They'll donate stuff, and then we do the raffles during the races, which is cool. Right.
So we got some good ones this week too.
Yeah. So not only do you get to race for free, but you can like walk away with some stuff. I mean, I think during the Kenman, we had a solo stove, right? Right. Which I actually won, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this thing? Like, I'm not. It's not for me. I gave it to George. You know, he was all amped up about that. But like, that's the cool part of it too. You come, you race, you have fun hanging out with a bunch of guys. You get that competitive out of you, right? Or maybe it just builds up and you go home frustrated.
Because we're all closet racers, right? We all wish we were jumping in a real late model or a cup car. And we just know that's not a reality.
I've driven a late model before. It did not end well.
Yeah.
I think I was about 4 seconds a lap slower than even the slowest guy on the track. So, but yeah, like I mean, that's the coolest thing. You get everything, right? You get the fellowship. You can walk away with some cool prizes, you know, and you get to exude that competitive nature, and that's the fun part. And it's a good facility too to do it at, right? We're not doing this in some guy's backyard or whatever. I mean, granted, it's some guy's basement,
right?
But it's a great basement.
Yeah, it is. It is turned into quite a racing,
and it's
basement.
A great track too.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's going to continue to get better. We still have some surprises even before next weekend.
Is there a smoke machine involved?
Not this time.
Oh,
no.
Darn it! I was really hoping for the smoke machine. I
know.
Laser show.
I know. In the laser show.
Yeah. No,
we actually started to try that. The laser show wouldn't work, but we've made some enhancements down here now that we've got some windows blocked. That laser show might happen. That kind of stuff, I'll be honest, that's all. If anything super techno's coming out, that's happening at the Kenman. Kenman is like our Chili Bowl. Race. It's like our Daytona. Yeah. It's always going to be the head shaker where people go, "Oh my gosh, I don't believe they're doing this today."
Yeah, and I'll tell you. Okay, so I was honored. I say honored to win the first one here, and you know that was just an absolute blast because I know what it means to you.
Yeah,
right. Like that was big for me. You know, and I really going into that race, I didn't think I had a chance with everybody. You know, just being so talented, but won it, and the hardware that came with it. That didn't go home with me. That went in my office. I keep it above my desk. Everybody gets to stare at it. But the trophies here, man, like you need to check us out on Facebook and check out those trophies Dave came up with because you want that to come home with you.
Yeah, MX Trophies has got it going on. These guys are creative. Yeah. This guy, Dan, that I worked with on this last set, and he's done all the trophies for the races throughout the rest of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. They kind of lights out. And I can't take any credit for it because all I did was send them the logo. Send them the RC Underground logo. And this guy just took it. And I said, this is what I want to name these races. And this is kind of the theme. And they just came back. And you know, an interesting side story to that. I reached out to him after I got him and I'm like, dude, these are crazy, amazing. And he said, you know what? I didn't even get to see them. He goes, I created them. And then I sent him to production.
No kidding.
I didn't even get a chance to see him. And he's new there. He's been there a short time. And so I took a video where I kind of panned across all of them. Yeah. And I mean, just the fast qualifier.
Oh, I want one of those. So bad. One day.
They're just crazy cool. They're just crazy cool. And I can say that because I can't take any credit for them. It's all MX Trophies. They do. It's funny. I would say their real genre is motocross, and that's why they're called MX.
Yeah,
I think the owner is a big motocross guy. I could be wrong, but I think that's where it starts. And so he started doing them, you know, for the most motocross community, and it's just got such a different vibe than you see at most tracks. Although when I was at RC Chili Bowl, can't say for sure, but I think those were MX Trophies too because they're super cool. super cool plaques and super cool stuff, you know. So
I think I might actually bring my Kenman trophy.
You should.
Next Saturday. I'm going to bring it at the Midwestern and, you know, just walk around.
Yeah. So
here's
I
my
won
trophy.
this. Yeah. It'll psych people.
I took this thing.
Well, what's interesting, I mean, again, we're going to post another segment prior to the race that will, you know, we had Nick Ciccone.
Yeah.
Who has won 3 Midwesterns, 2 in a row, 81, 82, came back in 86, won it again.
You're so dating yourself right now, Dave.
That's very scary.
Man, you are old.
It's like a blink of an eye, buddy. It's crazy how fast.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding because I was thinking like
kidding.
I was in diapers literally when these guys were running. It's crazy. Like you guys have been doing this so long, and the funny thing is like, and I don't mean to cut you off, but like you guys race, and it's like riding a bike for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with timing, you know, getting everything down. And I mean, Nick comes along, you know, I mean, if you could build a wooden box for Nick's transmitter, that's how he would run, the old school with the knob on the top. Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. The way he holds the radio is so fun.
Yeah. But
but that, you know, that the Midwestern, and this is something we'll talk about in future episodes, because now you'll experience a Midwestern. You'll have that under your belt too, which is super cool. That you'll be able, I mean, this is going to be not annual, but this is going to be the 18th running. 18 of these things
crazy
has happened since 1981. And it's just so cool to fire that up again and plug that in and get the Midwestern going again. But in the future, we're going to have a discussion, because up until now, no doubt in our racing community that goes back to 78, the Midwestern was the thing, right? The Midwestern 200 to us was like the Winchester 400, the All-American 400. It's a crown. It was the crowning jewel. Is the Kenman, this will be the segment, which is bigger, the Kenman or the Midwestern? And anybody who's raced that in the past would never even think anything could come close. But I don't know.
Yeah, I dig the Kenman just for what it, you know, kind of means to our community, if you want to call it that. And, you know, knowing you personally, knowing how big of an influence your dad was in your life and what he did for the hobby, right? Like that, to me, that ultimately makes it, you know, that's the number one. That's the one you want to win. That's the one you want to be part of for me. So, yeah, I mean, the Midwestern's cool, but it doesn't mean anything really to me, just because I know you, right? And if you're a spitting image of your pops, you know, like for me, that's what's important to me. And that again, kind of ties into the whole fellowship thing that we talk about, what's so cool about this hobby, and being part of, you know, this underground, but like, yeah, the Kenman that's the one. And, you know, I mean, it helps that I won the first one.
Right.
I mean, you know, I'm not bragging or anything.
So what's that phrase? And this could be so I'm giving this to you. All right. This is my gift to you. This can be your T-shirt. You know, often imitated, never duplicated. Nobody else can win the first one again.
Yeah. I could dig something like
you are now, you know, Nick, here we are, you know, 2023, talking about what he did in 1981, but it's because he won the first one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now you won the first one, and you know, we're going to talk to a lot of other drivers after they've experienced, and drivers that have experienced a bunch of times. I mean, George Maury. Yeah. The guy raced it 11 times in 3 different classes and never won one.
Yeah, but he's lightning quick pretty much with everything he does.
So Midwestern has definitely been on his radar. He actually came, he told me a great story. He said he came out of retirement and only decided to do it when that race had my dad's name on it.
Yeah.
He's like,
isn't that cool?
Yeah, because he's like, I know how this sport goes. It sucks you back in. Well, it worked again because George has his own car and he comes to every practice and every race.
He's got his pit box. He's ready to go.
He's ready to go. He is a scientist, man.
Yeah.
He is over here in his corner, and he should just have a lab coat on because he is under the hood, just finite adjustments, and he'll run. Finite adjustments, and he'll run. I mean, and it works. He never dials himself out.
What he does is, he's a good egg, and one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet on top of that. So
you're not kidding. I was excited to it's hard. We all have lives, right? We all have kids, and whether they're grown up or young kids like you have, and then like Nick Ciccone, his little guy Angelo, and but we all have lives, and these guys live in Illinois, and they live far. I think like Nick's an hour away, and George is like an hour and a half away. I mean, this is a commitment, and I think that's what goes back when people say, "Oh, there's the TVs and there's the pit area." It's like, I owe this to all you guys because you take precious time out of your lives to come and do this craziness, share a laugh. I mean, I get to enjoy it all, and I don't have the stress of it, right? But I'll be honest with you, I get a kick out of it because it's fun and it means the world. I mean, I could get, everybody can say, "Oh, it's great." No, I get the most fun out of is that this means something to you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Like everybody's into it, and it like means something to them. It's not just here like we're shooting pool at a Friday night bar and just hanging out. And I don't know if I won. I don't know if I won a pool game. It doesn't matter. Did I win darts? Did I, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like the stuff matters. Not to the point that anybody gets crazy about it.
Yeah.
Like you said, the fellowship is there, whether you're on the track or they're here in the pits. But, still I'm over there and there's the guys that are like, either if you, like when you won the race.
Yeah.
Like you were spent. You were drained.
Yeah. I slept well that night. And even practices. I mean, it just, today I was struggling a lot with traction roll and things like that. And it's a commitment. It's a commitment, but again, it's a hobby, right? You think of it that way, right? But that's cool that it's so like, it means so much to you to have us all here. But, I can tell you, and I can speak for everyone else that races this track, is that it means a lot to us that you do what you do, right? Mm-hmm. Like this would be nothing without you and your commitment to putting this all together and your constant promotion of it. Cause I'll tell you, one of the coolest things, at least for me and my somewhat addictive personality, is like, when's the next race? When are we racing again? Like, this is the track. I mean, I've run on carpet. I've done some other things. This is it. Like, I love coming here. So, it's that excitement, that buildup of the next race. And that's the coolest part too. We're not racing. This isn't a weekly series.
No, we want to make it special. It's what you just said. It's something you're waiting to do. Like, and we're not even going to race all year. We're going to, it's like a bowling league, we're going to end in May and we're going to be off for quite a while until fall. Yep. Not to say we won't, crack the lights and flip the switch and crack some laps in the summer.
Wrong? I didn't think so.
There'll always be excuses to get together. And just because we're all such good friends now.
Yeah, that's a
cool I really miss everybody, for 5 or 6 months. But we take off. Everybody enjoys their summer, spends time with their family and does all that stuff. And then when the weather gets crummy outside, we come down here.
Yeah.
And have a good time once a month. So, and we are going to run this year. We took a long break, like early November, I think was the last race. And then we took off for the whole holidays, which was cool. But, we're going to sneak a December race in there.
I think that needs to happen.
Yeah. It doesn't take the whole month of December to get ready for Christmas.
No. So I mean, my wife does all the wrapping and stuff anyway.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And Amazon drops it off. Like we don't even have to go to the store anymore. Right.
I mentioned she because I don't do it. She's a sweetheart. I love you, honey.
Right.
The other thing too that I got to tell you, what's really cool about these 1RC cars is the amount of personalization you can do to them. So we love our friends at Carpies, awesome people. They come up with some killer designs and graphics. I mean, the chicken car, right? The HSF car, that was a cool thing I think you put together for your little side hustle.
Yeah,
I love that. It's just the coolest livery out there, in my opinion. Again, we got Wabam. I certainly want to promote my good buddy Ryan DiStefano and his company. So we got them. Those cars adorned with that. But Carpies, I'll tell you, if you have any idea, like, just give them something. Give them some logos and let them run with it. The vinyl, the design that they do, and then the also just the vinyl itself, right? And cutting it out. I mean, it's set for these cars. You don't have to trim anything. It's just plop them on and go. And I run the the same scheme on everything I've got. I mean, my Slash, my Losi, like I love those guys at Carpies, and you know, I mean, a sponsorship would be cool because the vinyl it gets a little pricey.
Well, they've helped us.
They have. They were at the Kenman. That's right. That's right.
They were at the Kenman.
I completely forgot about that.
I try to be good. I don't expect them to do everything every race.
Yeah, no,
we pull out the big guns for the Kenman. So yeah, they were helpful there.
I was just you know, the fluorescent colors. It adds a bit to the price, but you know, at the end of the day, when you have them all lined up, you know, or out on track, you're like, oh, that was so worth it. So I say a little spendy. I don't mean to be disrespectful because they do have a lot of design time in it, right? And good vinyl is not cheap. So they're just a great company to work with. So friendly. You can pick up the phone, shoot them a message. They get right back to you. So
they do. They communicate very, very well. And they love what they're doing. That's what's
cool
they're
with so passionate about it.
The more we challenge them, they're like, bring it.
Yeah.
You know, we need something. We need something challenging. Yep. So yeah, they knock it out of the park every time. So
for sure.
Thanks to our buddies at Carpies. So, all right, what's the next thing we could talk about?
You know, I feel like we should bring some life stuff into this. Do you think? I mean, like, not too deep, right?
No.
But you know, I think as it relates to kind of the 1RC, and we talked about, you know, the fellowship and all of that stuff. But you know, for you, I mean, you know, and the importance of the Kenman and kind of what your dad did for you in this hobby, and like the friendship you have with Nick and George. I mean, you used to run with those guys back when you were just a young pup.
We were in each other's weddings.
Yeah.
George was in my wedding. I was in his wedding. And
isn't that? I've been yearning to hang out with these guys. So another 8-hour day with them will be fun. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, it just feels good to be back. You're right. Just feel good to be back. It was a bit too long, and we learned that for next year. So we need our break during the holidays for sure. But we can.
I didn't need
sneak one in there. Yeah, we can definitely sneak one in
sure.
December. I already got a name for it and everything. So
there you go.
Trophies are already in my head. MX will knock it out of the park.
Yeah, again. They do. Yeah, that'll be fun. But yeah, this is, you know, for doing this kind of scatting, kind of doing our thing. Like, I think that this is fun for us, and we'd love to have more guests on and all of that, and you know, more segments, just kind of breaking everything down. It's fun. I've listened to a lot of RC. I'm a podcast guy myself, so this is a lot of fun for me. But I've listened to some RC ones, and it's just like it's just so much focused on the racing and results and stuff like that. Like, this is we're open. We're trying to be authentic as we can, and just bring a different level to it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about anything before this. We didn't like set up a list or agenda or, hey, you throw this to me. No, we just said,
this is unscripted.
Like purposely did that just to be very organic and talk about what's in our heart and what's in our head. And yeah, you nailed it. There's so much more to this sport.
Hobby.
And
it's a hobby.
It's hobby. Yeah. Thank you for catching that. That'll be caught in editing. In this, there's so much more in this. Take two. There's so much more in this hobby than just the cars, you know. And hopefully that's I've been really pleased with what you've talked about and what you've brought to the table today, because that's really what I want us to get across is like, why do they do that? You know, why do they run them crazy little cars? It's an excuse to get together with a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
And more people we're going to meet.
Met a few people. I know you have too. So it's like, I'm looking forward to that. So this is going to evolve in kind of what we're doing, what we're talking about. You know, it's just not the 1RC cars. I'm trying to get you to buy a low-C with the hack fab conversion model.
Not happening yet. Just tripping my trigger.
Well,
yet.
Just wait, buddy. So we're going to kind of expand, but you know, the underground, we're going to start running more of these asphalt modifieds, right?
There's something else.
They're fast.
They were fast.
Yeah. That thing was wicked today. And imagine if you had a guy that could actually drive the car, how fast it would be.
Well, we'll see soon because, Todd Booker, Mark Sweeney, they'll have them quick.
Yeah.
Other guys will have them. Yeah, it's going to be the second class here.
Yeah.
You know, again, that we started out with the late models because we're stock car guys.
Yeah.
And that's the cars that they have. So we started out with that with the fendered cars. But yeah, we're so impressed with these pavement modifieds. We said, yep, finally the second class at the Underground.
Yeah, those guys at 1RC are awesome, and these cars, they keep developing. It's like they just keep getting better and better and better, you know. And I mean, I'd like to run some more divisions, which we can maybe talk about on offline. You know?
Well, you know, I'm always trying to
midgets.
Yeah, we saw a midget out here today.
Yeah, they're fast.
It was fast.
Yeah,
definitely fast. I'm intrigued to see where they're going with it. You know, it's called a pavement modified. Everything they've done up to now has been dirt. And now they come out with this. It's got different tires on it. You can't tell me from a manufacturing standpoint that you build a one-off car just for one car with slicks on it that is basically focused on pavement. So I'm excited to see what the future might bring.
It'll be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what the next car up their sleeve is. But, you know, they just do everything right. And they're such a good group of guys. Like ordering parts, super simple, right?
Great website.
Yeah.
I think
awesome,
it's a great
awesome website. But yeah, in terms of the cars, you're right. You build an asphalt modified, what's next, right? Are we talking, you know, super late models? What are we getting into?
Intent, please.
I kind of like a late model or even a street stock.
I would bet, if I had to bet money, I'd say that's the next one.
Yeah,
a lot of people thought that's what this one was going to be because they kept it super secret.
Yeah, this one definitely surprised me. And yeah, I stalked their page when I knew that the car was going to be launched. But yeah, street stock, anything. The realism of these cars, you know, the tunability of them is phenomenal, and it's every car that I've had.
It's quality.
Yeah,
every
it is
car
good
is
stuff.
quality.
And like I said, and the other part of it too is, right, like you want to get into this. A car is $200, $220 for an asphalt modified, but you're in it, and then you just charge up the batteries and go. Like there isn't anything else you need to do.
Please, nobody tell them they could have made these cars a lot more expensive, and we still would have bought them. But
yeah, that's true.
No, but all kidding aside, the price point could not be better. It's smart marketing on their point, because it really comes down to why wouldn't you?
Right. Yeah. If you're thinking about getting into the hobby, you know, there's the basher side of it, and I totally respect that. I like to go fast, turn left, but these cars do turn right. You know, so they're fun cars. I've got a 2-year-old at home. I'm hoping she's the only child of mine that would potentially get into this, but you know, you can take these things out on the street too and run around with them and have some fun. They are quick, they turn, and they just look cool, right? Like, so even if you want to get a car and you want to play around with it, even if it's in the house, you know, and buy one. They're so inexpensive. You get everything with it too.
And literally, okay, I got 1,500 square feet down here, but you don't need that.
No,
you know, if you don't need that. This track was much smaller when I started out. You know, I think, you know, 26 by 20 is the way to go, but you don't have to.
There's guys running a lot smaller tracks than that. Yeah.
12 by 24
right.
is a lot of guys. I think that's what's on the box they tell you to build is a 12 by 24 track. And just about anybody with a basement that would fit.
Speaking of tracks, so if you didn't know, we're in the beautiful state of Wisconsin. How many tracks have you totaled up here? Because it seems like there's more and more popping up.
Yeah, especially in the dirt world, right?
Yeah.
Steve will be the guy. So that's another reason we got to bring Steve on from Scuff Racing, because he runs that Wisconsin track site on Facebook, and again, we'll put that in the show notes so you can check that out. But he'll definitely know.
Yeah.
There's a ton of them. There's a ton of them. They're all.
We got to start
nice.
traveling more. We got to get to some of those tracks. I think it'd be fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. All right, buddy. This has been an absolute blast.
I feel better now that we're coming to an end. This has been a lot of fun. Kind of just talking about what we love doing, and you know, friendships and all that stuff. I think again, this is a cool avenue, and I hope, you know, people get to watch this, understand maybe a little bit behind the mind, but you know, as far as what's going into this and our passion for this hobby we've got is cool. And, you know, we can get more in depth. Like, add stuff in the comments if you want to see it. I mean, if you think we're a bunch of goons, tell us. You know, we've got tough skin, but give us suggestions, because you know it's coming up with different content and stuff like that can always be a bit of a challenge. That's where you're the brain behind that. But yeah, shoot us a note. Let us know what you think and what you'd like to see us change, or if we just got to keep going with it. It's totally fine.
Yeah, and as we've talked about, we tried to do things a little bit different here, and we're going to try to do the same with some guests. I might surprise you with some guests.
I'm in.
That might you might be like, oh my gosh, why are we talking to this guy? So there's a couple I just want to blurt them out, but I'm not going to do that. But
okay, maybe after the show.
I think you might be surprised.
Okay,
some people I've already reached out to, so we'll see how that goes.
I'm good, man. This like I said, this has been a blast, and I'm looking forward to more and more segments and more of these podcasts. It's just a lot of fun after a day of racing. You know, you kind of gives you an opportunity to kind of come down off that buzz, right, of going out and competing with your friends. And so I'm looking forward to the future, man. Yeah. This is going to be a blast.
I've had a blast. It's been well worth the investment to do it. And boy, if we started, I think we kind of set the bar a little high. We're going to have to come up with some cool stuff in the future.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that's going to look like. We'll have to get creative and innovate. Again, my word, innovate.
That's you. That's all you, buddy. I'll promote it. You come up with it.
Yeah, I'll come up with the innovation.
All right, see if I do this right. All right. Well, hey, that's gonna finish it off for the first official podcast of the RC Underground Radio. We want to thank you for joining us. Hopefully you listen to the whole thing.
Did you make it through?
Did you make it through? That's right. So again, Ryan, thanks, buddy.
I appreciate you, my friend. And hey, listen, that Midwestern, I'm sure we're going to have a show after that, recapping that whole thing. But, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be exciting. So let's make sure you get out, check it out. You'll probably see some live videos on Facebook. And
absolutely. We will definitely be talking to the winner of that and get his words, because he's going to become the 18th winner.
I'm hoping it's me.
Could very well be. Could very well be. Trust me. This cat's getting it in. All right, again, on behalf of Ryan and myself, thanks for joining us, and hopefully you liked what you heard, and we'll see you again next time. Thanks.